Watch this.
What we as Boiseans are allowed to do without the overreach of the people in the State House who don't live here.
The debate over what flags can fly on government property lives to see another day. But the city at the heart of that debate says it's not backing down. You know those registration stickers that you have to put on your license plates? Maybe you forgot to do that once and got pulled over by police. Well, one lawmaker says those stickers are outdated and it's time to get rid of them. Olympians often get asked what it takes to make it to their level. Few often understand the sacrifices required to fulfill their gold medal dreams. Well, except the family, who helped their athlete every step of the way. A proposed bill that would prevent the pride flag from flying at Boise City Hall has made its way to the House floor, and it brought quite the conversation in the city of Trees today. H561 passed the House committee with a 12-2 vote, but not before there was plenty of discussion. Cooper Morgan joining us now. And Cooper, this bill, of course, comes with a lot of history from last year's legislative session, but now punishments are coming potentially if you don't follow the rules. Is that right?
Yeah, Hunter, there's going to be a lot of more punishment here. They're actually adding teeth to the bill, actual enforcement. For context, last year lawmakers passed what's known as the Idaho flag law. The law limits which flags can be flown at state, city, and county government buildings. Under the law, only a short list of flags is allowed, including the U.S. flag, the Idaho state flag, official tribal flags, military flags, and flags representing Idaho schools. Shortly after the bill passed, the city of Boise made the pride flag one of its official flags and continued to hang it on the flagpole out front. Now, this newly proposed bill is going to make that illegal and attach a $2,000 penalty per flag per day. Another amendment to the bill, it won't allow any official city or county flag established after January 1st, 2023, which would prevent the city of Boise from flying the pride flag as it was designated officially on April 28, 2025.
The city of Boise passing that bill was a slap in the face of all of the citizens.
The flag is about support, the flag is about unity, the flag is about inclusivity. And unfortunately, it's become all of those words have become ideologies.
The bill sponsor, Representative Ted Hill, explained the January 2023 cutoff and the intention behind the new bill.
And the reason for that is they become politicized. We want to bring it down to a city flag should not recognize, again, some particular group or entity, or whatever that might be, whatever city that is, because it doesn't include everybody in the city. The city flag should be inclusive, and that would include everybody.
We are currently in conformance with Idaho law. We took steps to make clear that we have an official flag that we've flown for over a decade because it's a symbol of being a welcoming and safe community where everybody is part of Boise and can thrive.
Now, Mayor McLean wouldn't comment on hypothetical next steps if the bill were to pass, but she says that she's dedicated to making Boise a safe and welcoming city for everyone. Again, that bill passed committee today. It will move to the House floor next. Hunter.
Yeah, another part of this conversation that we were hearing about as well was the Basque flag, because, we're known in Boise for the Basque market. We have a big Basque population. So that's also part of the conversation, right? Is maybe some amendments along the way?
Yes, Representative Hill talked about kind of the collateral damage of something like this and, making amendments for certain flags here and there.
So something we might see, but again, not in this bill right now as we speak.
Not right now.
All right, Cooper, thank you. Are your license plate tags expired? If you had to think about it, or if you will have to go check, well, good news. You may not have to worry much longer. A bill is moving forward in the Idaho State House that would eliminate Idaho license plate tags. Justin Corr joining us now, and after looking into it, Justin, I have until July, so what's up with this? What's going on?
Probably have a lot of questions. Now, me too, I also have until July, and that may be all we need, Hunter. First, though, everyone, including our great producer, Sierra, wants me to take off the tie for the 208. So there it goes. I have another one underneath. Anyway, the bill removes the requirement to display that little registration sticker on the bottom right of your license plate. Does not remove the requirement to get your car registered or to have proof of registration inside the vehicle. Just gets rid of that little sticker. Sponsor of the bill, Representative John O. Weber, said the idea came to him when he was getting a car registered for himself. Got that little sticker and thought, Why do we even need this? Well, the answer is so police can easily see if your car's registration is expired, right? But Weber says they can actually do that without a sticker, and getting rid of the whole thing is going to save the state some money.
With modern technology and the use of real-time technology, that 100% of the time law enforcement runs your plate and receives all the information they need on that vehicle. This program, doing away with the program, is estimated to save $300,000 to the Department of Transportation, which they can use for more effective and efficient ways.
Weber also heard from folks that say most of the time the sticker is either covered up by a bracket, just not there, it's just small enough and covered by enough dirt that you really can't even read it. Bill now on its way to the Senate after passing the full House today with overwhelming support, vote of 67-2. Again, this is not a law yet, Hunter, so don't go ripping the stickers off your license plate like you're ripping off a tie on the 208. Still has to go through the whole Senate and then be signed into law by the governor. Hunter.
I'm saying you still caught me off guard with the tie thing, but back on the registration now. Okay, so law enforcement concerned at all about this?
No, again, with their current technology, they can figure it, they can run your plate pretty quickly and understand right away if it's registered or not, if that's expired. So, yeah, they seem to be okay with it.
Okay, the more you know. Thank you, Justin. All right, let's get to your 411. First, a bittersweet announcement today from the Idaho Sled Dog Challenge. Organizers have decided to discontinue all of the races going forward. Mushers were able to compete in the Warm Lake Stage Race this year, but the other races had to be canceled because of low snow levels. Between COVID, low snow, and avalanches, the 100 and 300-mile races have had to be canceled several times since the challenge started in 2018. One of the organizers says without a reliable trail, it's too much to ask volunteers and racers to continue. Well, if you're planning to hit the backcountry, there is some avalanche danger in the Sawtooth National Forest. The Sawtooth Avalanche Center says the danger is considerable and you should avoid steep slopes with stiff, wind-drifted snow on the surface. The warning is for Galena Summit and Eastern Mountains Banner Summit and the Sawtooth and Western Smoky Mountains. Well, speaking of snow, those prayers for snow have been paid off. Many of Idaho's mountain resorts started off the week with fresh powder. Bogus, Tamarack, Brundage, Sun Valley, and Pomerelle all celebrating snowfall from overnight and over the weekend.
A Boise native has managed to balance the elite demands of soccer and cross-country skiing, despite any pressure to stick with just one sport.
But she knew what mattered to her most was that she did what she loved.
And now she's competing for an Olympic medal.
Boise Sammy Smith's path to the Olympics was a little unconventional, a little outside of the groove lines she's used to following in her cross-country ski races. Because while everyone else was chasing World Cup points to improve their chances at making an Olympic team, Sammy was busy, along with her sister Logan, leading Stanford's women's soccer team to the NCAA championship game. It was only after that game was finished, early December, that Sammy was able to focus on Nordic skiing. In order to make Team USA, Sammy had to make it at least to the semifinals of a World Cup race in Germany, which she did just 3 weeks ago. So on the eve of Sammy's Olympic debut in Milan, Idaho's 3-time Olympic gold medalist, Kristen Armstrong, sat down with Sammy's mom to find out more about what it's like to raise a high-performing multi-sport athlete who's someday hoped to be Idaho's next Golden Girl.
Samantha Smith, what a surge at the end from Samantha Smith out of Haley, Idaho.
Let's go back before this moment and really think about who is Sammy? Like, what was Sammy like when she was a kid?
Honestly, she's a pretty private person, so the fact that I'm sitting here talking about her might make her a little uncomfortable. She is, everything she does, I feel like, is motivated by internal motivation. Her love for sport, she's a true competitor. She loves to compete, she loves to train, she loves the process. I mean, she loves life, and all those things that make her feel kind of full and alive are all these internal motivating factors, things that she, expectations she has for herself, goals she set for herself. She loves what she does, and she's going to do everything 110%. And even if you beg her to cut corners and say, it's okay to take a B on a test so you can get some sleep, that's just not how she's wired.
Oh my goodness, Sammy Smith coming to the front for the Americans here on the first leg.
Sammy's fortunate. She has an older sister and a younger brother. They're all about 18 months apart, so very close in age, so close to each other. Sammy wanted to do everything that Logan did growing up, literally everything. And Logan had a huge passion for Nordic skiing. I do think Logan's passion for skiing was so competitive for Nordic, and Sammy was a freestyle skier at the time as well, but just loved both, just wanted to be on the snow all the time. I think the biggest thing in their childhood and their love for snow was we would move up to Sun Valley for the winters growing up. I knew that as much as they loved the mountains and they loved the snow, that dipping in there on the weekends wasn't really gonna work as a family, and so I homeschooled them during the winter months. Super special time for us as a family, I feel like. If we were doing a snow unit, we would build an igloo and then they would sleep in it. If we were studying, compression of snow, they would jump off the roof and do flips into the snow, and so it was all part of their love for the snow and the mountains and everything. I feel like kind of grew because it was their life. It was their everything. They would look so forward to winters, and even now when they come home from school, they just miss the mountains and the snow so much. So I think it just became kind of part of who they are.
It was their identity. I love it. She did freestyle skiing.
Yes.
She was a Gatorade athlete in running. She is a Nordic skier. She was on the U.S. national team as a soccer player and now plays for Stanford. She can step away from leading her team at Stanford in soccer to the first week of December, and suddenly she gets on the snow and bam. It wasn't that she stopped training for skiing, but how did this all come together in all these years?
I think so many people have told her over the years, you have to specialize or you're never going to be good at anything. Or, Sammy, you have to pick one. You'll never reach your potential if you don't. And I think what I admire and respect so much is that she stayed so true to her heart and herself. And she would tell me when she had these conversations with people, it wasn't that they didn't bother her or upset her or make her think, but she knew what mattered to her most was that she did what she loved and stayed true to herself. And so Steve and I have always felt that yes, maybe she would peak later doing all these different things, but her ceiling is higher because of that, I think. As you know better than anybody, all the mind-body connections that you make in sport. I even see her now when she's in heats, for example, when you were talking about the race where she made the team in Oberhof. We saw her take some space on the last final turn to accelerate to the finish. Soccer is a game of space. Your brain is looking for space all the time on the soccer field. And I think her ski fitness enables her to play the 90 minutes and match every run and make runs that other people can't match on the soccer field.
I know what I put my mom through. I can't, even relive that. But I also know what I went through as an athlete. After going to 4 Olympic Games myself, I remember the last one thinking, this time I'm going to have fun. This time I'm going to celebrate. So as a mom, share with us some of the hardest moments. How do you stay so positive and a cheerleader, but at the same time, what else is happening?
Wow. There have been a lot of ups and downs. And yes, balancing 2 sports is one thing, but she is an incredibly committed student. And so I think that has been a big piece of the puzzle. We've been trying to balance the school part from over there. Some of her professors have been amazing and are really working well with her. Some have said, you know, I require attendance. You're not going to pass my class. Doesn't matter if you're home on your couch or you're at the Olympics, but I require attendance. And so she has had to drop, like physics, for example, and yeah, so it's one more piece of the puzzle for sure. I mean, kind of like you said, you hoped your last Olympics you would just celebrate and have fun and feel it. And so I think, yes, we'll be nervous, and we know how much she wants to make the rounds, and then not only make the rounds, but she wants to ski to her potential. And you hope if things don't go well, it's potential. It's not bad skis or a broken pole or something like that. So of course we'll be nervous, but I also hope we can just really enjoy it too and feel like all of her hard work, and she's here and she's wanted this forever. And so yeah, I hope that we'll just take a step back and feel grateful and and just kind of take it all in.
I mean, from the athlete side, firsthand the nerves that come from that. But even putting myself back from that, being a part of the family and having to watch, I'm struggling just rooting for Team USA right now because I get nervous. I mean, how did your family handle that too?
Well, I think my mom hid a lot of times.
Yeah.
But, speaking with Sammy's mom, that was one of my favorite moments because I can't imagine what she's going through. So I really wanted to hear and see from the lens of the mom. And you heard her speak about how really sports is just a lifestyle for their family. And Sammy is no different than any other kid out there. And I love to put the real human in front of people and let people know that the commitment and being able to play multi-sports. But what I recognize learning from Kristen, Sammy's mother, is that her kids, Sammy included, just loved playing sports. And I believe that process and being part and loving the sport and loving that byproduct is, the outcome is here I am. And yes, there's so many hurdles, but there are hurdles for everybody.
It's incredible. Okay, so Sammy's not done yet. She's just getting started. Talk to me. She's coming up. What's next? What's that layout look like?
All right, so tomorrow Sammy competes. She's competing in the sprint competition on classic skis. And there is a chance to be in 4 different rounds, but she'll start off with doing a time trial that is just basically individuals, and you try to make the first 30, and then it cuts down to another wave after that, because the top 2 of each of those 5 waves of 6 that equal 30 will make that cut, and then the best 2 times, and then the next round goes, and then there's only 2 groups of 6, which are 12, and the top 2 make it, and then the top 2 times go, and then you have the finals, which is 6 people. The race is only 3 minutes in duration.
Wow.
So you can imagine just back to back. And like her mom said, she's using all her experience in sport to bring it all together. So she doesn't look at it as like, I'm a multi-sport and how am I ever going to have time?
She just does it.
She just does it. And she comes back from national championships in soccer, and the next weekend she's in Alaska doing a Nordic ski race. It's just who she is. It's in her blood.
It's incredible to watch. I'm excited. I'm holding my breath for her. Thank you.
Yes, it's amazing. Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's been a beautiful Monday, at least across the lower elevations. The sun came out behind the cold front that brought us that rain overnight. Yes, the wind has been a bit brisk, but still we're at 46 degrees in the City of Trees right now. Mostly clear, but we have just enough of those puffy cumulus clouds out there that we've had a couple sprinkles of rain, even some little grapple showers through the afternoon. But for the most part, we will remain dry for the next 24 to 36 hours or so. As the system from last night continues to move off to the east, we will stay dry tomorrow, but there is another system developing off to the southwest that will bring clouds into the picture tomorrow. So our Tuesday, while it will still be mild, we'll likely hit about 50 degrees in Boise tomorrow. We won't see as much sunshine, so you'll notice those clouds streaming in throughout the day. They won't come in all that early tomorrow, so we'll still dip below freezing across the Treasure and Magic Valleys. You'll need a scrape of the windshield, and with clear skies overhead, we could also see some fog developing in our mountain valleys in particular. Visibility might be an issue early on tomorrow before that fog lifts by mid-morning. Daytime highs tomorrow will land right around 50 again in the Treasure Valley, mid-40s for the Magic Valley, and then we'll see low 40s around Haley and Sun Valley, low to mid-30s for our other central mountain locations. Dry tomorrow, but by early Wednesday morning, rain showers enter the picture for the Treasure Valley with more very light mountain snow. Then we're drier for the rest of the work week with a few more showers popping in for the weekend. It is 5:22. Time to check out those traffic conditions we are seeing as normal. Slow and go conditions on the connector, the Flying Y getting out of downtown Boise. That's what you're seeing right here. As we look at our traffic flow, that really is one of the only trouble spots. You may slow just a little bit as you get out of Meridian into Nampa, but right now it's only going to take you about 25 minutes to get from that Flying Y slowdown all the way into Caldwell on our Monday afternoon.
Okay, getting to your comments now. Greg from Boise says, does the flag roll also include getting rid of the Canadian flag in northern Idaho? Now, last year's law that went into place, we did. We reported that Bonners Ferry City Council passed a resolution to fly the Canadian flag, so they might be on the chopping block too. Okay, then we also have cops look for this colored tag to see if you are up to date on your registration. They won't know if there's no colored tag. People will take their chances and not register. That will cost the state money. Another great idea out of the Idaho Ledge. Yeah, that's part of the conversation. You know, is it going to cost us money? Are they going to pay attention to these? It's a good question you ask there. Okay, then the 208, Hunter, you're doing a great job. Hey, thanks. Question about the sled dog challenge. Are they canceling it permanently or just the rest of the year? Unfortunately, it's canceled permanently, so something we won't see again, unless maybe there's enough power of the people to say bring it back. I don't know. All right, and then we end with this one. The 208, touche, Justin. Well played, Brian in Boise. That was about the double tie situation. He really caught me off guard. I thought he wasn't gonna wear a tie, but I guess you guys have to help me here. I don't know what to tell him. You help me.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.